and then a little something to actually do some damage. SRM 6. Now with the AMS, it's going to have the SRM ammo. It's got 3 weapon types. Energy don't require any kind of ammunition, but they need heat sinks. They run hot. Ballistic and missile weapons, they require ammunition. So do I want... This thing isn't going to survive long enough to use anymore. So I'm going to need more heat sinks. The reason why is because you look at the heat efficiency, that is really, really terrible. So throw in a few more. It's only a 25-ton mech, and I still need room for the engine, of which there is no more. Crap. Okay. I can't even fit the basic engine. This is gonna be a goddamn train wreck. There's at least 6 heat sinks. It's actually going to... Okay, so we got we're down to 77 kilometers. We've got an AMS with ammunition. No regular SRM. That's really about all you can do. So yeah, the weapon systems here, and you can only fit them according to hard points. Ammunition for whichever ones use ammo. Equipment, which is really just heat sinks, case, engines. If you look in the cockpit, actually there's a command console, which I've never bothered to use. And then you can also configure armor, so you can strip some off or put some on. And being a commando, I'm going to take a little bit off the legs and put some more in the center torso, just to try and increase the survivability. The head's a huge goddamn target, but it's actually really hard to hit, and sometimes if you think you're hitting the head, it's actually classifying as the torso, because you might be aimed a little bit off. It's more obvious with things like the Atlas and the Awesome, because they're more built into the torso. Okay, we have one train wreck. And again, it's taking a while to load. Oh, that didn't do it, did it? Man. Wait, 22? What didn't it load up? There we go. Sometimes the mech lab will derp up. It becomes really obvious if you're in a if you join a lance. What it can actually do is it looks like it's putting it on, but it doesn't. That's really, really goddamn annoying. And the other stuff is modules, which you need to spend the global XP on. I obviously don't have. Upgrades, which, like I said, you can do ferrous fibrous and internal structure, which structure saves weight, armor is slightly more effective, but they both use 14 critical slots. So they're really good if you have scout mechs, because you generally need tonnage. You got plenty of criticals to spare. Assault mechs, not so much. There's also double heat sinks, which are more for scouts, because they're more efficient for the weight, but they require more heat sinks, and they're so big you can't actually fit them in your legs. Artemis is a brand new one, and this is only really for mechs that use missiles. Well, it is only for mechs that use missiles. LRMs become a little bit faster locking on and do more damage. Well, not more damage, but they group tighter. And SRMs also group tighter, which means that you're doing the damage is more on one location as opposed to spread out, which is fantastic, but it's fairly expensive. And then the last one is Camo Spec, which doesn't actually do anything yet. So I've got my my little train wreck of a battle mech. Let's just see how terrible this thing performs. So yeah, of the weapon types, with energy weapons you generally have regular lasers, which are beams, which you need to keep on target. Pulse lasers, which are shorter beams, but they have a faster recycle. They also generate more heat. Then there's the ERs, which is just only ER large laser, more range. PPCs, which do a fair amount of damage, but they generate a hell of a lot of heat, and they're heavy. And they don't do the cool, screwing around with the HUD like they did in MechWarrior 3 or 4 or 2 or pretty much any MechWarrior game aside from this one. I'm hoping they add that in soon. It will get added in. There's no way they can't. What else you got? And there's also flamers, which we'll see in action in a minute. On top of that, you've got ballistic weapons, which are the autocannons, which do more damage while having shorter range. Okay, that's my weapon group sorted. Nice and tight. So AC-20s do the most damage, but are the heaviest and have the shortest range. This guy's... We're rigged out with LRM boats, aren't we? Command... Ooh, what? What? Oh dear Jesus. Well, it's been nice knowing you guys. I'm gonna go off and die. Wait for me, other metal babbies. Hey, they spotted someone. Ow. Oh shit. Oh, someone launched from well out of range. So the way the spotting system works is that you need to have real line of sight to a target. Then you need to lock it. I believe you need to... I've never been clear on this. I believe you need to look at it, lock it up with R, until you get all the information. At which point it counts as spotted, and at which point your allies can lock up on it. Oh, and we got ourselves a catapult. Let loose the juice! And SRMs. There we go. Oh, I'm on the edge as to whether or not I'm happy they took out tripping. It used to be a mechanic where bigger mechs could trip up smaller ones. Ooh, and you just saw something there, and I've lost an arm. This is so retarded yet so awesome. Missile weapons. Well, I'm about to overheat from all that. Oh, and I did overheat. I kept that mech running in circles though, so that's a win for me. Next, I lost a leg. I'm about to lose my mech. And I did. Commandos, not the most survivable thing ever, especially when you take off some of the engine power. Oh man. That was fun, I gotta do that again. So, yeah, missile weapons. Each mech only has so many missile bays. So when I was firing my SRM-6, because the commando only has 2 missile ports, it fires off 2 and then rapidly, and then the second pair and then the third pair. It's in rapid succession, but it can really screw up your groupings. And that's the thing about... That's why there's different catapult variants. That's why there's actually some difference between them, because some cats have bigger launches than others. Like, they're designed to carry LRM-20s as opposed to just the LRM-15s. So there's that to be kept in mind. It's really, really bad. No, I'm not going to show in this video, but I've heard of people who take a Commando 1B, the one I was riding, and put on an LRM-20. So that's 20 missiles firing out a 2 missile port, so it needs to fire separately 10 times, which is just retarded. Though it'll make the enemy run out of AMS ammo that a little bit faster. I mean, that's really all there is to the game. You go out, you engage, you die. The important thing to remember is that if you're in a scout, speed is life, and because I didn't have any speed, I died. Assault mechs is more about positioning. You need to make sure that the enemies, you can get shots at the enemy, and you're able to position yourself where they can't just lay all their firepower on you at once. That's also why you don't go in an Atlas and just wait into the enemy, because you will die very quickly. Primary way to kill mechs is to focus fire. You need to really concentrate all your fire on their center torso and take them down as fast as possible. Unless you have an inkling that they're riding a mech with an XL engine. So if you see a Atlas K that's only rigged out with 1 AMS, that's rigged out as default rather, chances are it's a Founders one which has an XL engine. For example, that one right there that's been targeted, as you can see in the top right. Which means that you can kill it by knocking out a side torso. Rear shots are the most effective. Mechs are really, really thinly armored on the back. You put a good number of shots in there, you'll knock them down. Me and a mate actually had a game where we successfully snuck up behind an Awesome, which is one of the assault mechs. It was just like, I just run up behind him, just like, dude, they don't notice me. Quick, get up here, get up here. So he joined up with me. It's like, okay, on the count of 3. 3. And then we unloaded with everything, and after like 2 volleys, so about 5 seconds worth of fire, it went down. We were only running a pair of lights. We would have done the same to his buddy, except he was on the ball. As soon as we started shooting him, he spun around and laid into us. But still, that was fun. And, I mean, that's really what it comes down to the game. There's not much to it yet. I mean, it's a very solid game. I really enjoy it. But, yeah, there's definitely a lot of room to improve. And, Piranha Games, I mean, these guys, I really do believe they've got their heart in it. The talent, on the other hand, I mean, the last patch they released was kind of derp. They needed a hotfix for it, and they keep on doing it too. It's not an isolated incident. But regardless, I mean, the Piranha Games, they're doing good work, even if they derp up a lot. I mean, more so than Blizzard or anyone like that. But no, the heart's in the right place, and this is going to be a fantastic game once it gets to the release status, whatever the hell that means. It's an open beta now, which means it's still undergoing testing, but nobody knows. Nobody really knows. It's the point where I include Atlas Shrugged. Thank you, future me. So yeah, anything else I can say here is just rambling. So, to the goons who are watching this video, if you haven't already, go check out the thread in the place on the forum. You'll know where it is. Word of low text is always recommended, because if you want, honestly, reliable information comes from those guys. That's how I get my info. I verify it independently. I just basically just by playing the game and checking out what happens. And yeah, they're pretty accurate. To the BAO guys, you know, I've got the thread on the forums, which is actually using a fair bit of the something awful information. The goons, I know about OPSEC. It's okay. I'm using your stuff as a basis to make sure that they're actually educated and not, you know, dirty pubbies. Most of them still are, though. Newbirds are fun. And everyone else watching on YouTube, if you haven't got this game, get it. It's free. It's fun. Ideally, try and get some mates to do it, or join up with, well, I guess find a clan. I can't really do any recommendations, but get the game, get some mates, and have fun in your group of 4, just wrecking stuff. And worst comes to worst, do something really stupid like I did, like, you know, take commandos and just run around being derpy. I mean, when it was 8-man lancers, we did a game with a full eight ravens, squawking the whole way, and it was glorious. I think we still lost, but even so, it was just glorious. So, I do believe this game is right on the edge. It's going to be going for a fair while. These games often do. Sometimes it's over instantly, like just from a back cap, or the entire team walks straight into a firing line and doesn't understand focus fire. But then you get games like this which just drag out. So, I believe it was like 2 minutes ago or so, I said I'm going to stop rambling. That's not going to happen. It's me. So, this has been the Staff Sarge, bringing you yet another game of me sucking at battle mechs. See the Ramirez video for more information. For those people who are watching my LP, I've got the next episode just about ready. I still need to do some tweaking on it. I did some fairly fancy stuff, which is why it's been delayed. That, and I'm also a lazy prick. So yeah, to everyone out there, have a good one. Have a fun weekend, because it's 9/11 here, because Australian. And yeah, hopefully I will see you guys on the battlefield of the Inner Sphere with yet another loss. So I'll see you guys later.